Former Prime Minister Liz Truss travels to America, makes a very sound and right-wing speech, and the whole of the establishment are freaking out. Oh, Liz Truss, the woman with the right ideas but terrible leadership and management skills. The failure of as Prime Minister has decided to go to America and makes a speech at the Heritage Foundation, one of the most conservative think tanks in America, behind all the right-wing movements. And she made a very good speech, which is quite consistent with what she always believed in. At least she does have consistency compared to other politicians. She's always been against the globalist corporate mentality, the big government and control freaks, high-tax society, the green crap nonsense. Even when, obviously, as a senior member of Boris Johnson's cabinet, the World Economic Forum's website, obviously, create profile pages for all senior politicians. But she didn't really want to completely surrender. So her profile page, which is like a Wikipedia page for senior members of governments, is basically empty. Just has her title, nothing else, because she didn't want to completely associate herself with the World Economic Forum on Davos that much. And having said that, I've got this speech. Let's go watch it, because, as I said, I've always been nuanced when it comes to Liz Truss. It was back in the day when she was a minister. I was quite a fan, big fan. I'm still a fan of her ideas and what's in her brain. It's just the ideas is on the wrong body. She's not the best politician, let's just say, in terms of political skills. But what she said is absolutely spot on. Let's go.
The sad truth is what I think we've seen over the past few years is a new kind of economic model taking hold in our countries. One that's focused on redistributionism, on stagnation, and on the imbuing of woke culture into our businesses. I call these people the anti-growth movement, and they come in many shapes and sizes. There are the vested interests who don't want challenge and don't want competition.
That's the corporatists, globalist corporatists.
They've always been there. But they've been joined by socialists in environmental clothing, who in the name of combating climate change insist that we should simply stop virtually every kind of economic activity. And then we have the ESG culture, perpetrated by many in big corporations, where the focus is on hitting a diversity target or hitting a social target, rather than actually generating money for employees and for the country. And of course, this model results in more taxes, it results in more subsidies, and it results in more regulation. I think we can see that with President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. It's going to cost US taxpayers $400 billion. It's going to encourage US industry to spend their time rent-seeking and going to the government for those subsidies. And it's also going to cut competitors out of the market, including companies in the United Kingdom.
Okay, so a bit of a objective viewpoint. I'm going to praise Liz Truss for being one of the rare politicians from Britain who go to America and doesn't just randomly praise the president. She actually called out Joe Biden in his own home country. Well done. Now, criticizing Liz Truss. Where was Liz Truss before? Because she is a social liberal. And in the name of social liberalism, these people have been turning a blind eye on the rise of wokeism. Because she was more than happy to, in the name of tolerance and liberalism and everything else and compassion, go out there and defend people's choices, which is fine. I'm a liberal when it comes to individual choices, but she's in a position of power. People like Liz Truss should have years ago called out the rise of wokeism and this essentially cultural Marxism that's been happening, whether in terms of the education system or the whole of the LGBT movement right now, the way it's increasing and going extremist. She didn't say anything about that because they thought, people like Liz Truss were so incompetent, they thought, well, this is good, this is progress. It's called progressivism, but it's not. They are regressive, they are illiberal, they are authoritarian. You guys didn't do anything about it at the time. Now that you've left office, you go into America, make all these nice speeches saying, yeah, I think we need to stop that now. You could have done it before, but you were fine in being part of Boris Johnson's cabinet When he was doing all the liberal stuff and woke stuff and the green crap stuff, he didn't say anything back then. Now you want us to believe that you are on the side of the freedom fighters. That's a sad reality. Now, that's why I didn't want to come across as a cheerleader for Liz Truss. I do agree with her views. I do agree with her ideas. But she's not really, she's just preaching it. She's not acting on them. Maybe if she had a chance as the Prime Minister, she might have. But even that, I'm not really that optimistic. Let me know your thoughts about Liz Truss and her speech. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.